State Senator Richard Saslaw sat down with VACo on the Go to discuss issues that affect his district as well as the Commonwealth. We pick up the interview in progress.
K through 12 and 1/3 to higher ed, which would add $400 million to K through 12, which is desperately needed since our budget this year is back to where it was in 2007 for public schools. We are the 7th wealthiest state on a per capita basis in America. We're 38th in what we give K through 12 and 48th in what we give higher ed. And that's the reason for the tuition increases and the increase in out-of-state students, is because we don't give them enough money to keep their doors open unless they do those things. So it's extremely important. And particularly, well, it's even more important to the rural areas who have these very low composite index. They don't have much local wealth. In fact, you can take 7 Senate districts in Southside and Southwest Virginia, and if you add up all the localities in there, and there's about 70 of them in those 7 districts, if you add up all the localities, and all the localities raise their real estate tax 1 penny, total collectively it would only generate amongst all 7 districts between $7 and $8 million. If you raised it a penny in Fairfax, it's $20 million. And they need the money, and Fairfax needs the money as well. The governor's plan simply won't work, and I don't think it's going to fly either. If you eliminate the gas tax, you put 100% of the burden on Virginians when they're only 70% of the maintenance problem. So it doesn't make any sense to do that. Plus the fact, excuse me, the oil companies would just raise the price.
Senator, one of the things that I noticed in the governor's plan, transportation plan, is that he uses approximately, by 2018, our analysis says that approximately $200 million of general fund will be used to support.
That's correct, and we cannot afford that.
And is that eating into our core services?
That's eating into public education. Remember, 35 cents of every dollar is public schools.
I know that you're very, very interested in public education funding. Also
Right.
know that you've actually got a study in, I think a study resolution in to study the amount of funding that we provide K-12 public education.
That's correct.
And I know the governor's also got a proposal in. He wants to make this the year of the teacher, and
But he has no money for it.
He's putting
Excuse
some money
me.
he's putting some money for teacher raises. But what do we really need to support education? I mean, I know I like the idea of the concept of the increase in sales.
There's no way out of this without raising the taxes.
Yeah.
I mean, we just can't continue to cut. And he says, well, the gas tax, is less and less reliable. It hasn't been raised since '86. All the other states have raised their gas tax since then, except us. I point out, I was talking to one of the attorneys in the Senate. I said, what would your standard of living be if you were billing at the same rate now as you did in September of '86? And he says, I wouldn't have a standard of living. Well, that's what's happened. I mean, it's, you don't have to be Einstein to figure out that if you never raise the gas tax, naturally the revenue, it's a fixed percentage. It's not a percentage, it's a fixed amount. So unless you have booming, growth in population, you're not going to have any growth in your gasoline tax, which is why all the other states have raised their gas tax.
We were a little dismayed when we saw the governor's education proposal, in that it looked like there was some additional money for K-12, but he actually cut the cost of competing funds dedicated to
that is going to prevent a large part of Northern Virginia from attracting both the administrators that they need and probably the teachers. In fact, he didn't bother to read the JLARC report, because if he had, he'd have seen where not only do we need the money that was initially in the budget before it all got cut, and then he wants to cut it some more. We need even more than we've been getting.
What to bring the amount of money required to bring the cost of competing dollars back to, I guess where it was a couple of years ago?
We're going to need about $30 million.
$30 million. I know that I thought that the governor zeroed that out last year, and then the Senate and then the General Assembly put money back in.
We put money back in, and he's done it again, and we're going to have to add $30 million.
I guess the other issue that was one of our top issues was the aid to localities and how important that is. As you know, over the
old $5.99 money.
Well, it is the old $5.99. That's exactly right. The old $5.99 money, but it's also the money that goes to support constitutional officers, public libraries.
Right.
And that Governor King.
Over the years, that's been cut.
Right. And the governor did put money back in, $45 million in, to do away with that reversion, which we're thankful for. And we hope that in your leadership position that you can help us try to keep that, because that is one of our main things.
No, I understand that, and I understand the need for dollars at the local level. We don't have an income tax, a local income tax in Virginia. So there's, you all almost exclusively have to rely on your, commercial growth. Right. And a lot of the areas don't have it. You got top salaries for school teachers in some parts of the state after 25 to 30 years of $40,000, $45,000 at that low, and in Fairfax and Arlington it's 80 and 90,000 at the top, and quite frankly we need to do a whole lot about that. We're at $48,000 statewide as an average, which is below the national average. And if you pull Fairfax out of the equation, at 48,000 drops about another 6,000, which puts us about 12,000 below the national average. And we're the 7th wealthiest state on a per capita basis. We shouldn't be, below average.
Well, Senator, thank you for being with us on this segment of VACo on the Go. We appreciate all your work.
Well,
on behalf of localities.
Thank you.
And I know that Northern Virginia feels like that they're very well represented by you. And so,
well, I hope I do my best. Thank you very much.
Thank you for being here.
Okay. Bye.
Bye-bye.